Welcome. We're going to go ahead and get started as people are coming in. This one is a little bit different, but a little bit the same. We've been on a journey of looking at our prayer work as a story, as what is it we're talking about. We're looking at what is it that when we're talking about what we want to get ingrained, deeply ingrained in how do we let what we want in our life come about with ease and grace. So that's a little bit about what we're doing. And we're going to be talking about the stories that we tell. And we're going to rewrite the stories around our prayer requests. So if you have something to write on, pull it out and just so that you can have it with you. Or make a little notation. We're only going to be here about an hour. So feel free. It's not going to be a long drawn out story, and you can just take notes so that you can go back and revisit it. And in the meantime, we're going to get started and have our presenters give us a brief introduction on themselves. So Jean, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Yes, well, I'm Reverend Jean Hagan, and I've known most of these people that are presenters for years and years and years. And my background, I started in New Thought and Unity in Kansas City back in the 80s. And at one point, John and I, my husband, we moved to California after we got married, and we started attending a Unity church there. And people in our Kansas City community kept telling us, well, you need to go to Agape. And they did that for a year. I'm trying to make this short. They did that for a year, and finally we decided we would go. And so we went to Agape for 30 years. We moved to Kentucky 2 years ago, and so now we're in Kentucky. And we just found our new community recently, and so I'm Jean Hagan.
Thanks, Jean Hagan. And Jean Hagan, actually, when she moved to California, became a classmate of mine. I remember
Yes.
our first Science of Mind class together, and you and John sitting there together. So I'm Robyn Rice Olmstead, and I was back in the day with Reverend Jean, and all of the folks on this call at Agape. I'm a practitioner. I've been a practitioner for almost as long as Brit is alive, 25 years. And I am an actor and a writer, and my passion is really about infusing creative and spiritual things together and creating a space where people can learn via learning more about themselves and who they are and what they bring to the world. And I pass it to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Robyn. So nice to see Robyn and Jean and Sonia. Liz Raci, I'm a practitioner. I was at Agape for 15 years. Now I've been at North Hollywood for 10 years. I've been a practitioner since 2000. And I often work with the youth. And I just basically have a good time and I pass.
Mm-hmm. And I'm Sonia Jackson. I've been a practitioner since, 30 years, 1996. And I was been at Agape, and in case, when we say practitioner, we are spiritual counselors. We're spiritual individuals who love and know God. And we study to understand as much as we can about it. And I know my compatriots here, we love God. Oh, we just have a good time. So we're sharing because we know that everyone on this call also has a consciousness, also has an understanding of the divine power of God and the divine power of the prayer. And what we want to do is just share some of the thoughts that we have about how we see things working and how we see things happening, and how we can impart some tips on how it might make things easier for everybody that we know. So that's our purpose of gathering together today. And we appreciate you being here. So we're going to jump right in. And I'm starting with, what is your prayer request? So we'd like for you to think about some of these things. Take a look at what your prayer request is. What is it that you're thinking? What is it that you want? Maybe it's something simple, like you want a new car, or maybe you want something, work that is more stimulating, or something that's more involved with you're allowing your creativity to flow with more easily, or something. Or maybe your prayer request is around health and well-being. It doesn't matter what it is, but what is your request, and what is the story behind it? What is the story behind it that you have at the moment? You can feel free to pop anything that you want in the chat, or not, or just make a notation for yourself. What is your prayer request, and what's the story behind it? So if you wanted a new car, do you just want a new car? Oh, I need a new car. Or is it that I want to have really good transportation? Maybe you have a car, but you need a new car because you want a car that represents you better. Maybe the people in my neighborhood kept putting a card on my old car that said, "We buy junk cars," And I'm looking at my car and I'm thinking, well, okay, yeah, it needs a little work, but maybe I don't consider it to be a junk car. But I wanted a better representation of where I felt I was. So there's a difference between, I want a new car, or I want security in the vehicle that I have in my transportation, or I want something that really represents where I feel I am now. I want to drive something that I feel is more representative of where I am in my life right now. Maybe that's it. So what is the story behind it is what I'm asking. And then the next step of that is, can you change that story? So maybe it's about health and well-being. So if it's about health and well-being, maybe you have a problem. You tripped and strained your foot, and you're hobbling and you're in pain and you don't want this pain. Or so what's the story about that? Is that the story? Or is the story about something more concerning? But what is it, the story that you want it to be? Can you change the story? What is the story that you want it to be? If it's about health and well-being, I want the pain to go away in my foot. Or even if it's something more concerning, how can you change the story to feel better about the story you're telling, or to feel more uplifted in the story that you're telling? So that when you say the first way you've been saying it, well, the story I've been telling about it is that I don't want people to think my car is junky. 2, I want everything in my life to be a reflection of the possibility that I am in life, or what I have about my life to be a possibility. So as we go through the other conversations that are going to take place, continue to have this as a place to look at your prayer request. Okay? What your prayer request is, how you might, what has it been, how might you change it for now, for the future. And with that, I'm going to pass this to Jean.
I'm so glad everyone came this evening, and especially for this topic, this summer solstice. We do this once a quarter, and Sonia sends us out these topics, and we can choose which one we wanted to talk about. So I chose for my topic this evening, how can I consciously use my AI to create my life. Now, we're not talking about artificial intelligence. We're talking about almighty intelligence, the divine wisdom, creativity, and guidance that flows through each of us. What if life is like a little virtual reality experience? In virtual reality, what we focus on determines what we see, where we go, and how we interact with the world around us. In a similar way, our intentions, beliefs, and expectations influence how we experience our lives. This doesn't mean we magically control everything that happens. Life will always bring surprises, challenges, and circumstances beyond our control, but we do have tremendous influence over the energy, meaning, and possibilities we bring to every situation. When we consciously use our almighty intelligence, we begin with intention. An intention is more than a wish. It is a clear direction for our energy. Each morning we can ask ourselves, what do I want to create today? Perhaps it's peace, connection, courage, abundance, or joy. By setting an intention, we give our minds and hearts a destination, like entering coordinates into a navigation system. Our awareness begins looking for opportunities that align that intention with our beliefs. So the second ingredient is belief. Belief acts like the operating system of our inner world. If we believe life is against us, we'll notice evidence that supports that belief. If we believe life is supporting our growth, we'll begin to notice opportunities, lessons, and unexpected blessings. Again, this isn't pretending difficulties don't exist. It's choosing the lens through which we experience them and through the lens through which we experience life. When intention and belief work together, something powerful happens. We become active participants in our lives rather than passive observers. We start asking, what possibilities want to emerge here? What is almighty intelligence guiding me toward? What would I do if I trusted my highest wisdom? And then we take inspired action. The creative process is not just thinking positive thoughts. It is aligning our thoughts, feelings, words, and actions with the reality we wish to experience. Every moment we are sending signals into the field of life through our attention. Whatever we consistently focus on tends to grow stronger in our awareness. So we want to create a life of greater love, purpose, and freedom. We can consciously direct our focus there. And imagine for a moment that almighty intelligence is always available, and it is. And an invisible network connecting us to infinite possibilities. Our possibilities are infinite. Our intention is the request. Our belief is the connection. Our actions are how we receive and express the guidance. The invitation is simple. Set a clear intention. Choose empowering beliefs. Listen for inner guidance. Take one aligned step. Then watch how your experience begins to shift. Because when we consciously partner with our almighty intelligence, we just don't react to life. We help create it. Now, so we're going to just take a deep breath and ask yourself, if I truly trusted my almighty intelligence, what would I choose to create next? And so just sit quietly with that question for a moment and allow the answer to arise from within. We're just going to take a few moments to do this. If I fully trusted my almighty intelligence, that divine guidance within you, what would I choose to create next? And so I pass to Robyn.
Thank you, Jean. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Those are such important, I think important questions and tools that you've given us, and especially on this summer solstice time, which is the threshold of light. And it's when we gather to really remember these essential things that we're talking about here. So we know that we're always being guided towards our highest good and being guided to our next becoming and our infinite possibility of who we are. We know that that's not happening someday, or not when we're healed or more organized or more energized or more enlightened, but it's happening right now in this exact life that we're living. And so the topic that I was asked to explore was shifting our journey into deeper alignment with our highest good, and healing as allowing, listening, trusting guidance, and taking inspired action. Just take a breath, because I thought, oh wow, is that all? That felt like a lot, but healing as allowing, listening, and trusting guidance. On the one hand, it seemed easy in theory, like, well, yeah, that's what I do. And then, okay, these are all kind of concepts we banter around often. And on the other hand, I thought, allowing and listening and trusting guidance. How often do I really do that without kicking and screaming a little, or a little conversation with the divine about, I don't want to, and why me, and not now, and all of that. Not that I don't eventually surrender, but do I really just fall into trusting guidance? So I was inspired by my husband's talk title for today, which was Learning to Love It All. And I thought, well, as I really truly embrace this practice, the real key is learning to love it all. Because true healing becomes that practice of allowing and listening and trusting and taking inspired action. And I think it's set into motion when we really can embrace the radical spiritual posture of loving it all. So in this time of solstice, I think, Sonia brought up, what's your prayer request? And how can we change it? And I think that's what this time is about. Because as we dive deeper into what it all means, the word solstice really means that the sun stands still. And for a brief moment, the earth pauses. And in that pause, we're reminded that alignment doesn't come from the pushing, it really comes from the presence. And so when you really stop and ask yourself that question, or the question that Jean asked, if I truly trusted my almighty intelligence, what would I choose to create now? And really take that pause. Really take that pause. So, because I think our real journey into alignment begins when we stop long enough to notice what's actually here. And so that's with the truth or the ache or the pulling that's possible, the beauty, the possibility of what we want to create. So take healing, for example. Healing's not fixing, healing is allowing what's present to really be seen and felt and honored. And when we let go and soften our resistance a little, or we listen to our inner guidance, then we create that space for wisdom to rise. And allowing takes us off the defensive. It says, I don't have to fight myself to grow. I can meet myself with compassion, with love, with wonder, with joy, with curiosity, whatever it is. It allows that space. Well, for me, it's a space of breathing. It allows that space of that openness for things to bubble up. And if we take healing as listening, what really is listening? Listening is the art of tuning inward, of hearing the quiet voice beneath the noise, and the voice that really already knows the next step. When we can get out of the way, there is a voice that knows the next step. Rumi says, what you seek is seeking you. So the charge becomes, if you can trust guidance, trusting guidance means trusting the magnetic pull of your own becoming. Rumi also said, the wound is the place where the light enters you. So can we love that? Can we love it all? Can we love those places that don't look like the light and shiny and, fantastical place we want to live from? So I think loving all includes loving those places where the light is trying to break through. And healing as guidance. Trusting guidance doesn't mean that we never feel doubt. On the contrary, it means that we recognize that guidance often arrives it arrives as a whisper or as a nudge or as a subtle knowing within, or sometimes for me it's the 2x4 kind of guidance where they're like, come on, you hear me, we know you do. But whatever it is, we're building that relationship of trusting. Trust is built through relationship, and our relationship with spirit or with our own intuition, with the life that keeps showing up for us. And every time we say yes to that inner knowing, then we strengthen that bridge between who we are and who we are becoming. Florence Scovel Shinn, who is a metaphysician, says, I cast this burden on the Christ within and I go free. This is where, honestly, if we can surrender, this is the act of allowing, of releasing the struggle and truly trusting divine intelligence to lead. That would be the charge. Can we just surrender and trust divine intelligent, the almighty intelligence to lead? And healing is inspired action. I like the word inspired. I don't know, it makes me feel like there's lots of possibilities. So inspired action to me felt it's different than efforting. It's the step that feels alive and aligned and true. And even if it's small, it's that potent step. Like sometimes inspired action is really bold, and sometimes it's as simple as resting, saying no, reaching out, or just, telling the truth in a situation, being where you really are instead of doing what you think is right. But no matter what it is, it always moves us towards our highest good because it arises from our deepest wisdom. So right now, I invite you to just take a breath. And wherever you are, put your hand on your heart or your belly or wherever you can feel your center. And bring to mind one area of your life where you're seeking healing or alignment. And not to fix it, just bring it into your heart, just to acknowledge it. And as you take a breath in, just say the phrase to yourself, this too belongs. This too belongs. And as you release your breath, just say, I can love this too. I can love this too. So take a breath in. This too belongs. And breath out. I can love this too. And as you do this, just know that loving it all really, it doesn't mean approving of everything. And it certainly doesn't mean understanding everything. But it means recognizing that every part of our journey, whether it's the light or the shadow or the confusion or the clarity, every part is part of our becoming. And it's all part of our growth and unfoldment and healing. And we get to choose the next steps of our journey. This is where the sun stops and we pause and we inquire, can we embrace it? Can we love it? Even when it feels messy. So loving it all is more than an invitation. I really think it's a spiritual practice that's essential to true healing. So, as the sun stands still today, may we all just pause long enough to feel the truth of who we are, beings of light, guided by wisdom, rooted in love, and capable of profound alignment. And may we take the inspired steps that truly lead us toward our healing and our highest good. And this is what will truly allow us to embark on a journey where we can love it all. Thank you.
Thank you, Robyn. Right, inspired steps, inspired action. So I'm talking about something to do with answered prayer. I don't really remember, but that's okay. Not important. Here is the bottom line. I mean, everything is baby steps, and we have to do all of the work. We can also explode into a realization. And if we're not experiencing answered prayer, and it doesn't always look exactly what we thought it would look like, but still we can tell that it's answered prayer. If we're not experiencing that, it's because we're experiencing some degree of separation. We're not seeing all life as one. It's so important, especially right here and right now, what we're all experiencing in this world. It's just so important that we can surrender our judgment, because judgment keeps us from our answered prayer. That we can be in a place of forgiveness, because lack of forgiveness and a hardened heart keeps us from our answered prayer. And that we can truly look at every person and say, you are my brother, you are my sister. Now, it can seem kind of challenging to have to do that right now when we're seeing all this unusual activity in the government, in cities. Things seem out of alignment. So really, we say we're spiritual beings, then we need to do whatever we can to get ourselves back into alignment. And what's interesting is, all the mystics have said this. A gazillion people have said this. We are not human beings having a spiritual incarnation. We are a spiritual being having a human incarnation. So, if we are a spiritual being and not a human being, we're a spiritual being first, having a human incarnation, our spirit is perfect. It lacks any sense of even knowingness of dis-ease. It lacks any sense of not enoughness. It lacks any sense of anything unlike God, and is totally immersed in all that God is. That's what we are. We are a spiritual being. So if I am a spiritual being and I am perfect and whole because I am a spiritual being, which is the truth, each of us as a spiritual being, when we can realize that, there is no disease that can live in our body. We just have to keep going back to the truth of our being. I'm a spiritual being. Well, then there is no lack in my being because I'm a spiritual being, which is infinite. Go back to being a spiritual being. Well, then there's always peace in my mind because I'm a spiritual being. And now more than ever, we're being called on to recognize that and to look at the other, whatever that other might be, someone other than me, someone who doesn't act like me, someone who doesn't think like me, someone who doesn't behave the way I think they should behave, the other. Now more than ever, we have to embrace the other in love. And I know that this is challenging, but here is where our healing comes from, not just our unique personal healing, but the healing of our community, the healing of our country, the healing of our world. It all comes from this place where we can truly look at each other and look at people who are doing things that are like, what did you just say? I'm sorry, what did you just do? Seeing those kind of things and just taking a pause, taking a breath, and going right into that's a spiritual being who in their human incarnation is experiencing separation, because you cannot judge, you cannot hate, you cannot stand in anger if you are in unity, in alignment. Only when you're in separation can these kind of qualities overtake us. So really our prayer, yes, we pray for this particular thing and that particular thing and this other thing, but our prayer is really heal my separation, oh Lord. Right here, right now. Heal my separation. If I can have the audacity and stand in the truth that I am God, where I am is holy ground. All things are unfolding by grace always, because where I stand is holy ground. If I have the audacity to truly believe that, to truly surrender to that, not only will my life be lifted and my heart's desires start to be fulfilled, and there's no cause for a prayer because it truly is already answered. When I can go there and you can go there and you can go there and you can go there and we can all go there, now we're experiencing heaven on earth. So right here in this moment, right here, right now, I want each of us just to make that commitment. I am going to be more than I've ever been. You know, Yeshua ben Yosef, aka Jesus, he did all kinds of healings. He, you know, he would speak the word and someone would get healed. He would touch someone and someone would get healed. He would just know the truth and someone would get healed. One time he spit into the ground and made some mud with his spit, and he put it on a blind man's eyes and they were healed. There was one thing he consistently did before all these different modalities that he may or may not have done. The one thing he always did was he would say, Ephatha, 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 and then a healing would come. Ephatha, and then a healing would come. Ephatha is Aramaic for expand your little self. Expand your little self. In the expansion of our little self, we rest in our high holy self, and there is the healing. There is the manifestation of the heart's desire. Right there is the release into absolute freedom. Ephatha, baby, just Ephatha. Would you just Ephatha? So I'm going to lead us in experiential right now so that we can Ephatha. Because as we know, as we rise up, as we are the place of forgiveness, of love, of non-judgment, when we're in that place, others get to join us. And as others get to join us, something wonderful happens. So let's take responsibility just for ourselves. I'm just taking responsibility for Liz. I don't care what the rest of y'all are doing. I'm taking responsibility for Liz, that I'm going to rise up in my consciousness, that I am going to expand my little self and know from the place I was born, know as God, live as God, experience as God, create as God. So take a breath in through your nose and exhale. Take another breath in through your nose. Just exhale. Another deep breath in. As you exhale, you can feel things letting go. Right now, any tightness anywhere in your physical being, just breathe light right there. You can feel light being breathed right there, whatever you need to release. And you're resting in an open, receptive place right here and right now. I want you just to see a magnificent emerald green light. It descends upon your head, emerald green. It's glittery, it's shining, it's moving through your head, through your scalp, through your bones, in your face. It's moving down through your neck and your chest and your abdomen and your thighs and your calves and your ankles and your feet. You are encased in emerald green. You can see it above you, descending upon you, encompassing you, and anchoring you into the earth. Just let yourself feel this vibration as you're breathing in and you're breathing out. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in this vibration of wholeness, exhaling anything that doesn't serve me. I'm breathing in this vibration of healing. I am exhaling any judgment or hard place in my being. Right here, right now, any hard place in your heart, in your being, in your consciousness. Right now, any place where you've not been forgiving, right here, right now, you can feel this emerald green light just scrubbing it away, scrubbing bubbles, scrubbing it away. Oh my gosh, what a relief. Scrubbing it all away. You feel a sense of gratitude, finally experiencing wonderful, delicious, yummy freedom, free of fear, free of worry, free of trying to figure things out, freedom that your soul is perfect, freedom that you know all that you need to know. And as you're encased in this beautiful green light, just focus on your feet and the light as it goes into the earth. And now it bursts forth from the earth in through your feet, and it is a magnificent, grand, white light. It is overtaking all the green. It's a level of green around you, and that's surrounded, is encased in the white light. This light is an absolute healing light. At any time, you can just bring it into your consciousness and let it take you over and know what needs to be scrubbed away is scrubbed away. What needs to be lifted and expanded and ifafa is right now in this safe, magnificent, light place. How does it feel to be perfect, healthy, and whole? How does it feel? Feel that now. Encased in this light and safety, how does it feel to have all your needs met and live from the overflow. How does that feel? Thought plus feeling equal your life. How does that feel? Feel that now. Right now, encased in this beautiful, magnificent, healing light, how does it feel to have all your relationships anchored in love? All is forgiven, anchored in love. Oh my gosh, such joy. How does it feel? Feel that now. And encased in this magnificent, beautiful light, how does it feel to be one with God? How does it feel? All that God is rushing in through and as each and every one of us. How does that feel? I am one with the most powerful thing, creator of all life. I am one with that. I am infinite. I am eternal. How does it feel? And how does it feel to just be awash in good and more good? Love and more love. Creativity and more creativity. Peace and more peace. Harmony and more harmony. How does it feel? We're just letting it wash over us and we're feeling it now. This is our truth, never separate, calling into manifestation our heart's desire in the blink of an eye, for we are one, with the only one. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Just rest in this feeling until we move on.
right into prayer, continuing this knowingness that all that there is this power and presence that we are. We allow it to reveal itself as the harmony, as the peace, as the joy, as the knowingness. We give thanks for this truth. We give thanks for the understanding that we have received this day, and we continue to walk and recognize the power of God that lives as our very beingness. And in this moment, I recognize that we are all one with this power. Not only each person on this call, but each person who has acknowledged this prayer circle of this divine knowingness. And we're recognizing that all of our needs have been met. We're recognizing that all of the things that we have called forth in our life, the love, the peace, the harmony, the wisdom, the divine guidance of God, has already been gifted, has already been given. We stand in divine acceptance of this truth right here and now. We stand in divine acceptance of this, allowing our divine intelligence within that mighty, almighty intelligence that we are to guide us. We call it forth to help us with our alignment, to know where we are standing. And we are standing in love. We're standing in the love and the understanding and the wisdom. Grateful that we are releasing any and all thoughts of separation. That we are one with each other, one with each person in this world. We call forth the highest and the best for each of us in this truth. I'm blessing each person on this call. I'm blessing each person that hears this message. I'm blessing all of this and more. And I pass.
So how grateful I am to continue on in this high vibration of awareness and of absolutely knowing the truth of our being, knowing that there is only one power, one presence, one life, and this life is the life of God. It is the very life of my life, and so I know it is the life of each one that is here. I know that there is no brokenness, there is no separation, for that is all an illusion. And as we step into this high awareness that it is all an illusion, that we are one with the one, that all of our needs are already met, that they were met before we even came into this existence. We came in with our needs already met, with our desires already fulfilled. And as we grow and evolve into the absolute wonderful beings that we are, allowing this divine presence to live through us, to be through us, I know that our needs come forth in divine order and in divine timing. Nothing is ever lost. Nothing is ever misplaced in God. All truly is happening on time and in time. And as I align my highest awareness with the almighty intelligence that is within me, I know that my intentions, my beliefs are all in alignment with this divine truth, that God truly is all that there is, that I came into this existence with all that I would need to live a life in the highest form, to be an absolute divine idea in the mind of God that is coming forth into being each and every day in all of its glory and in all of its magnificence, allowing the divine to express through me, to be through me. And as I know this for myself, I know to each and every one that is here, all desires have already been met. There is no illusion. There is no separation. It is all an illusion. And we walk in the awareness that God is, and that is the truth. And I pass.
Yes, yes, and yes. Yes to all that has been spoken. Yes to this knowingness. Yes to this trusting that right here, right now, truly all needs are met. That as we asked, it has been answered. Whether you think it was heard or whether you thought it or whether it was a passing thought, it is heard, it is answered, and our job is to live into that, to step into that knowingness, to surrender to that small, still voice within that brings those awarenesses up in you that says, Yes, beloved, yes, you can. Yes, and you say, oh, but what if, and now I don't know, and no. If it came into your head, it is divinely appointed, and it is yours to do, and it is yours to do in only the way that you can do it. So everything that has been thought, or even birthing a thought in your mind right now, Ifafa, right here, right now, let it go. Let it go. We can do it. We are doing it. God is doing it in, as, and through us. And so we stand in that. We stand in that. And we say, yes, yes, we will live from the overflow. Why? Because it's there for us. So there is no request that's going unanswered. There is nothing that hasn't been heard. And we stand in that vibration that's happening in this continuation of time with the masters, all of the masters, from Jesus to all of the names that come into your head. And Ifafa. And I pass.
Oh, and how grateful and thankful I am just to continue this word so beautifully established by all my beloved sisters. Yes, we're just saying yes. The law is a yes machine, and what we put into it says yes. So right now, we're putting into the universal law. I am one with God, and I can never be separate. We're putting into the universal law. I am infinite and eternal. We're putting into the universal law. I have hope, faith, trust, and belief that my heart's desire is fulfilled right here and right now. We're putting into the universal law. I am infinite, infinite abundance. It is the nature of God to pour forth gift upon gift upon gift. It is the nature of each and every one of us to open up and just receive and circulate. We are putting this and more peace and more love and more harmony and more goodness into the universal law. And it is saying, yes, 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 you betcha, by golly. Wow. And how grateful we are to know this and have this understanding and just let God be its most magnificent self as each of us. Blessing our communities, blessing our family, blessing our country, blessing our world, blessing it all. We go forth as the blessing. Thank you, beloved Mother, Father, God. And I release this word into the law of mind where it comes back. Yes. And so it is. Amen.
So it is.
Amen. So this is the conclusion of our summer solstice healing prayer party. I hope you've enjoyed it. We're saying good night. Other than that, we'll see you next time. The next one is coming up for autumn is September, probably 22nd, for the autumn equinox. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. That was
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Solstice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Night.